Ayan. So, welcome to Leap Review and Educational Services, live lectures. And for tonight, of course, future teachers na tayo. So, for tonight, we will have your, ano na nga ba yung subject natin for tonight? That's the life and works of Rizal. Okay? So, let's start with the first one. Okay, so the first one is Rizal's literary genius was manifested in various literary types, such as elegy, as exemplified in blank. Is it letter A, mi primera inspiración? Is it letter B, mi último adiós? Is it letter C, la juventud filipina? Or is it letter D, al trabajo? What's your answer, guys? Sige nga, tingnan natin. Anong answer natin dito sa ating question number 1? Okay. So guys, always remember dito ha. So kapag ito lumabas sa boards natin, the first thing you have to remember is what is an elegy? Ayoko yung kulay. Ang sakit sa mata. Ayan. So what is an elegy? So when you say elegy, what is an elegy? Baka lumabas din to sa English General Education. 'Di ba? An elegy is what? An elegy is a form of poetry. So it's a poem. And dito, ano ang ini-express ng speaker natin? This is a type of poetry which now expresses grief. What else? Sadness. That's your grief. That's your sadness. What else? Or loss. So, ang elegy is malungkot. Yun yung lagi niyong tatandaan. Malungkot ang elegy. And therefore, what is the best answer here? Kung malungkot dapat ang elegy, of course, that's your letter B, mi ultimo adios. That's your letter B, mi ultimo adios. So, let's have a review of your mi ultimo adios. Okay, so let's start with the first one. What's the English translation of mi ultimo adios? What's the English translation? Para masabi nating elegy talaga siya. I'm elegy now. Grabe, wag! Wag tayo mag-elegy ngayon. Bakit kayo nag-express ng grief, sadness, or loss? Hindi Dapat hindi tayo grief-stricken ngayon. Hindi tayo sad. Bakit? Dapat masaya tayo kasi malapit na tayo maging LPT. So what is your mi ultimo adios? This is your my last farewell. Yan. So ito yung mga sinasabi natin sa mga ex natin, pero after a few hours, babalikan natin sila. Charot lang. So this is your last farewell. Okay? So yan, di ba? Yan yung mga sinasabi niyo. Last ko na to na text. Yan. Tapos mamaya-maya, meron na naman. Okay? So for me, ultimo adios, this is your my last farewell, guys. Okay? Ano ang lagi nating tatandaan? So, Mi Ultimo Adios, this was written by Rizal in Fort Santiago before his execution. Okay? So, this was written by Rizal in Fort Santiago before his execution. Okay? And, lagi nyo tatandaan, ang isa sa mga laging sinasabi nila, tinago to ni Rizal para hindi nila itapon, hindi nila i-confiscate. So, saan niya tinago? So, usually, ang lagi nila sinasabi, it was hidden in an alcohol lamp. But rather, ang totoo talaga, this was hidden in an alcohol stove or burner. This was written in, it was hidden in an alcohol stove or burner. Okay? And itong stove na to, this was actually given to Rizal by Pardo Tavera. Ayan. Okay? At anong ginawa ni Rizal? Before siyang i-execute, binigay niya tong stove burner sa kanyang sister na si Narcisa. Ang pangit naman ng sulat ko. That's your Narcisa. So he gave this alcohol stove or burner to his sister Narcisa on the eve of his execution. Kaya na-preserve yung ating my last farewell or yung mi ultimo adios. Okay. Now, ano pa yung mga kailangan nating tandaan? Your mi ultimo adios, guys, this is not simply an elegy na goodbye, farewell, and sorrow. Meron siya actually 4 objectives according to Austin Coates. Okay? So according to Austin Coates, it has 4 objectives. O, diba? Grabe si Rizal. Magsusulat na nga lang ng poem, may objectives pa. So according to Austin Coates, ano yung mga objectives ng ating mi ultimo adios? So the first one, guys, this is, yung sinabi natin, this is his farewell. Okay? So, nagbababay na siya, nag-goodbye na siya. Yan. And, ano pa? This is his last will and testament. So, the Mi Ultimo Adios, it also served as a last will and testament for Rizal. And the third one is what? This is an appeal. So, ito na yung final appeal ni Rizal to the Filipinos. Yan. So, an appeal to the Filipinos to remember him as a hero. Okay? So, ito na yung last na appeal ni Rizal para ma-remember siya as a hero. Okay? And of course, the fourth one is, it will now, it's actually parang a short autobiography. Ayan. Okay? And always remember, guys, ang ating Mi Ultimo Adios, this was actually one of the most translated poems in the world, and currently it is translated into 40 languages. Yan. So, yan yung isa sa mga poems na talagang na-translate into many, many languages. Currently, it's 40 languages. Okay? So, yan ang ating Mi Ultimo Adios. Okay? So, guys, always remember, there was a previous board exam question, pero parang a few years pa before, a few years na nakaraan. Ang sinabi nila doon is, which of the following, or ano na nga ba yung question? Mi Ultimo Adios is an example of a blank. Ngayon, walang elegy sa choices. Okay? So guys, kapag walang elegy, I think allegory yung nasa choice. Okay? Pero ngayon, ang lagi niyong tatandaan, kung may allegory at may elegy ang sagot. Okay? Elegy ang correct na sagot. Okay? Kasi baka meron kayong makitang mga old na mga questions sa LET na practice question, tapos ang sagot is allegory. So, very old. Yung updated na question na natin sa LET ngayon is elegy. Okay? So, wag kakalimutan yan. Okay. So, let's move on. So, the next one, guys. Next question. Sorry. Aside from that, guys, i-discuss lang natin, since this is an in-depth discussion, let's just discuss the other choices. So, if elegy is of sorrow, of grief, nag-express ng sorrow and grief, ano naman yung ibang mga choices? So, what is mi primera inspirasyon? Paulit-ulit natin to, guys, kasi lagi ito lumalabas sa board exam. This is the poem written by Rizal and dedicated to his mother. Okay? And this is my first inspiration. And as we have discussed dun sa ating previous na lectures, anong sabi natin? Si mother niya ang kanyang primary inspiration. Bakit? Kasi siya yung una niyang teacher at inalagaan niya ng mabuti si Rizal. At ang sabi nila sa history, siya daw ang favorite na anak ng nanay nila. Okay? Ganyan talaga kapag ikaw yung bunsong lalaki, ikaw yung favorite. Di ba, ma? Naalam kong nanonood ka, ma. Charot lang. Okay. So, next one. You have your, that's your La Juventud Filipina. Okay. So, ano naman ang ating La Juventud Filipina? Lagi niyong tatandaan, this is now what? This is your To the Filipino Youth. Okay? And lagi niyong tatandaan, sa Filipino Youth, ito yung sinabi ni Rizal na hope of the fatherland. Yan. So, ito yung sinasabi ni Rizal na magising lahat ang mga kabataan dito sa Pilipinas at tayo ang pag-asa ng bayan. Okay. Next, Al Trabajo. Si Al Trabajo naman, guys, ito yung sinulat niya na hymn para sa commemoration. Yan. Commemoration na yung town naging villa, naging city na. Okay? And sinulat niya to para to commemorate the town na magiging city na siya. But the hymn, the song, is actually what? Ito yung sineselebrate saka ina-exaltate niya ang value and dignity of labor. Okay? Kaya kung titingnan nyo, if elegy is a sorrow, grief, Yan. So, ang pinaka-ano lang talaga dyan, ang pinaka-magandang sagot dito is mi ultimo adios. Kasi dito nagpapaalam na siya. Tapos halatang halata, makikita niyo talaga doon sa poem na malungkot siya na kailangan na niyang magpaalam. Okay? So, this is your question number 1. Okay? So, let's move on. Question number 2. Jose Rizal's essay and Marcelo H. Del Pilar's various writings were published in the propaganda newspaper blank. Is it letter A, La Solidaridad? Is it letter B, La Patria? Is it letter C, La, ang hirap naman i-pronounce, La Freilocracia? And letter D, La Independencia. Okay, so what's your answer, future teachers? Anong sagot natin dito? O, yung mga Zoomers natin? Hello? Anong sagot natin dito, guys? Alam nyo, guys, kapag kunyari nagaganito tayo, sagot lang kayo ng sagot. Okay lang yan yung i-type nyo. Tapos kung tama, very good. Kung mali, okay lang yan. Kasi ang alam nyo natutunan ko, minsan kung saan tayo nagkakamali, doon tayo sobrang natututo. Okay? Tapos hindi na natin makakalimutan na doon tayo nagkamali. Yan. Di ba? Usually ganun. Kaya okay lang yan kahit na magkamali kayo sa mga drills natin. It's fine. Kaya nga siya review. Kasi gusto nating matuto at maalala yung mga tamang sagot. Okay, so for question number 2, of course, the correct answer is letter A, La Solidaridad. Okay, so always remember that Jose Rizal and Marcelo H. Del Pilar, they now submitted their writings sa La Solidaridad. Okay, and of course, paano yung ibang mga choices natin? So, for La Patria, guys, this is now a poem which is now written by Emilio Jacinto. This is now written by Emilio Jacinto, and this is To the Fatherland. Okay, now, paano naman si letter C? La Freilocracia. Okay, so this one, this is actually a book, and this is written by Marcelo H. Del Pilar. This was now written by Marcelo H. Del Pilar. So dito, guys, ang libro na to, it's all about exposing the high influence of the church. So in-expose niya yung high influence ng church. Ayan. So ang tawag ni Marcelo H. Del Pilar sa mga church, dun sa mga friars is Freilocracia. This one. Yan. Yan yung tinawag niya sa mga Spanish friars or monastic orders. And kasi 'di ba dati, parang walang separation ng state and church. So kung ano yung gusto ng church before nung Spanish rule, talagang mabigat yung kanilang sinasabi, and sometimes it influences the state, yung decision ng state. Okay? And on government matters. Okay. Next, La Independencia. So for La Independencia, guys, during the revolution, ang daming mga periodicals na lumalabas, and this is a periodical. So this is a type of periodical which is now partly owned. So it's edited and partly owned by Antonio Luna. Yan. Okay? Kaya 'di ba si Rizal talagang gustong-gusto niya na maging educated ang Filipinos noon. So iyon yung isa sa mga yung isa sa mga objectives niya. Dapat ma-educate ang Filipinos. Bakit kaya niya gusto 'yon? Kasi syempre, paano ba natin mapapakita sa mga kababayan natin kung ano yung talagang totoong nangyayari? Paano ba natin mai-influence ang decision ng ibang tao kung ano ang tama at mali if they are educated. Bakit? Kasi kung marunong kang magbasa, makikita mo yung mga sinusulat nila ng mga periodicals, yung mga writings, yung mga reports na kung ano yung mga nangyayari sa buong Pilipinas, saka sa ibang bansa. Okay? So, yan ang isa sa mga goals ni Rizal. Okay, so let's move on to question number 3. All the sisters and brother and brother of Rizal, used the last name Mercado, the father's surname. Rizal instead used the maternal surname of his father to allow Rizal to move freely while studying because blank. 1. Young Rizal was expelled from parochial school. 2. The Mercado family members were suspects as anti-government. 3. Jose Rizal was an adopted son. 4. The Mercado siblings were blacklisted in schools. So is it letter A, 1? Is it letter B, 2? Is it letter C, 3? Is it letter D, 4? Okay. So, ano ang tamang sagot natin dito, guys? So, bakit lahat sila? Di ba parang ito nga yung sinabi ni Rizal na nung nagsulat siya, sabi niya gano'n na lahat ng mga kapatid ko, even my parents, they are using Mercado. Pero ako, Rizal ang ginamit ko. So, para ako tuloy, illegitimate child. Parang gano'n. Kasi nga naman, lahat sila Mercado, tas siya, Rizal. Okay, so what is the correct answer for this one? So bakit pinili ni Rizal na gamitin ang last name na Rizal instead of Mercado? Very good. Because of statement number 2. Yan. Because the Mercado family members were suspects of being anti-government. That's why si Rizal, nung siya ay nag-enroll sa Ateneo, so when he enrolled in Ateneo, yan yung ginamit niya. Rizal, yung last name. Okay. Now, bakit ganun? Kasi yung family name ni Rizal na Mercado, it has come under the suspicion of Spanish authorities. And bakit sila parang nagkaroon ng suspicion na anti-government yung Mercado family? One of the reasons was because of Pasiano. Bakit? Kasi si Pasiano, ginamit niya tong last name na Mercado. So he now used the last name Mercado when he enrolled in College of San Jose. And kilala siya ng mga Spanish authorities as Pasiano Mercado. And bakit yun importante? Kasi very close siya kay Father Burgos. Si Father Burgos. Very close siya, favorite student siya, tsaka confidant ni Father Burgos. At ano ang importance ni Father Burgos? Ano ang importance ni Father Burgos? Father Burgos was what? One of the Gomburza. Okay? Ayan. Eh, di ba ang Gomburza, although it's false, pero bakit, di ba, parang sinabi na sila yung responsible, sila yung nag-influence, kaya nagkaroon ng Cavite Mutiny, which is sabi nila, anti-government. So, dahil close si Pasiano kay Father Burgos, na execute because of being anti-government, parang yung buong family na din ni Rizal, parang naging under suspicion na rin. Okay? So please don't forget question number 3, and that is, bakit ginamit ni Jose Rizal yung Rizal na last name instead of Mercado? It's because the whole family is being suspected as anti-government. Okay, let's move on. Question number 4. The novel written by Rizal, which was first published in 1891 in Ghent, Belgium, and translated as The Reign of Greed and or Subversion, was blank. Is it letter A, Noli Me Tangere? Is it letter B, Mi Ultimo Adios? Is it letter C, Allo Juventud Filipino? Or is it letter D, El Filibusterismo? Oh, na-discuss natin to last, I think Thursday. Last Thursday. Ghent, Belgium. Oh, anong sagot natin, guys? Very good. That's your L. Fili. That's your L. Fili. Oh, parang hindi nyo na rin makalimutan. Di ba ang pampaalala natin dito? E, F, G. Di ba? L. Fili, Ghent, Belgium. So, parang hindi natin makalimutan. Dagdagan pa natin yung pampaalala natin. Lahat ng Filipinos, they are gentlemen. Charot lang yan. Pero pampaalala lang. Okay? So, parang hindi natin makalimutan. All Filipinos, they are what? Gentlemen. Pero yung kapatid ko, hindi. Tinulak, charot lang pa rin. Okay, so, yan yung ating letter D. Okay? So, yan yung ating L. Fili sa Ghent, Belgium. Okay? So, since last Tuesday and Thursday, lagi natin dinidiscuss ang L. Fili tsaka Noli kasi they are favorite board exam questions. So, lagyan na natin sila ng difference. Okay? So, ano yung mga dapat nating tandaan tungkol sa Noli Me Tangere tsaka sa El Fili. Okay, so let's start with the first one. What is the English translation for Noli Me Tangere and for your El Fili? Okay, so let's start with Noli Me Tangere. Ano ang ating English translation for Noli Me Tangere? Very good. This is your touch me not. That's your touch me not. Okay. And of course, sa El Fili, ano ang ating English translation? This is your reign of greed. This is your reign of greed. What else? And this is your the subversive. Okay. Okay. Next one. Place of publication. Ano na yung sabi natin dito? Touch me not. Do not touch the germs. Di ba? Do not touch the germs. Kasi Germany. Specifically saan sa Germany? Specifically saan sa Germany? Sa Berlin. Berlin, Germany. Okay. Now, what about your El Fili? Ano yung sabi natin? Lahat ng Filipinos, they are what? Gentlemen. So, gent, Belgium. Okay. Next, kailan na-publish? For this one naman, guys, itong date of publication, hindi pa parang as far as I know, hindi pa naman siya masyadong tinatanong, pero just in case, lumabas. Okay? Kasi dapat lagi nating tatandaan, wag lang magko-concentrate sa mga lumabas before. Dapat yung mga other important info, mag-aral din tayo. So this is March 21, 1887. This is March 21, 1887. Okay. What about si El Fili? Very good. It's what? It's 1891 and this is September 1891. Okay? So 1887 si Noli Me Tangere. Noli Me Tangere 1887 and then si El Fili 1891. So this is 87 and this is 91. Okay? Next, dedication. Saan na-dedicate si Noli Me Tangere at si El Filibusterismo? Oh, na-discuss na din natin to nung Thursday and Tuesday. Kanino dinedicate ni Jose Rizal si Noli Me Tangere? Kanino? Kanino? Very good. To my fatherland. To my fatherland. Okay? So dito, dinedicate ni Jose Rizal to my fatherland. And when he is saying fatherland, that means it's the Philippines. Okay? Next, what about El Fili? Kanino niya dinedicate? Gomburza. Very good. That's your Gomburza. Okay. Next, Savior. So, sino yung sinasabi nating Savior? Always remember that Noli Me Tangere saka si El Fili, alam mo ang sobrang swerte. Sobrang swerte ni Jose Rizal dito sa part na to. Bakit? Because when he was trying to publish Noli Me Tangere saka si El Fili, wala siyang funds. So, lagi siyang walang pera. Kinulang yung pera niya. So, here comes the friends of Rizal na nagpahiram sa kanya ng pera. That's why they are now known as the savior of Noli Me Tangere and savior of El Filibusterismo. Okay? So, sino ang savior ng Noli Me Tangere? So, yun pala dapat ang maging maging goal natin sa buhay. Magkaroon ng mayamang kaibigan para laging may magpapautang sa atin. So, sino yan? That's your Dr. Maximo Viola. Okay? So, Viola, si Noli Me Tangere. Very good. Now, what about si El Fili? Uy, ang galing! That's your Valentin. That's your Valentin Ventura. That's your Valentin Ventura. Okay? So, sorry guys, ang pampaalala ko kasi dito, syempre alam naman natin na ang unang lumabas na libro is Noli, di ba? And then ang second is si El Fili. So para hindi ko makalimutan yung mga savior, ang pampaalala ko dito is Viola, may 20 ka na. May 20 ka na. Sorry. Ayun. Share ko lang kahit na corny. Okay, so yan yung aking pampaalala. Oh, sorry na. Okay? Kaya dapat galingan nyo guys na dapat pumasa na kayo sa March para hindi nyo na maririnig ulit yung mga corny kong jokes. Okay? So, ganun kasi dapat, ganun ako mag-aral. Aside sa malakas yung boses ko pa nag-aaral, pag nagbe-memorize ako, yan. As in, malakas yung boses ko. Kaya siguro na yung teacher ako. Yan. Kasi nung sa pharmacy, ganun ako mag-review. I will start as sa utak lang. Pero pag hindi talaga siya pumapasok, palakas ng palakas yung boses ko. Kaya yung sabi ng mama ko noon is, anak, yung buong barangay natin na-memorize na, ikaw na lang ang hindi. Okay? So, ganun. Ganun ako mag-review. So, tas pakornihan pa ng pampalala. So, kaya nyo yan, guys. So, galingan nyo para hindi nyo makalimutan. Viola, may 20 ka na. Bakit? Viola for Noli and 20 Ventura for Elfie. Okay? So, yan ang ating okay. So, yan yung ating table. So, huwag kakalimutan tong table na to, guys. This is very important. Okay. So, next question, guys. Number 5. The book which inspired Rizal to write a novel that would depict the miseries of his people under the Spanish tyrants. Is it letter A, Uncle Tom's Cabin? Is it letter B, The Story of the Moth? Is it letter C, The Count of Monte Cristo? Or is it letter D, Travels in the Philippines? Very good. That's your letter A. Okay, so that's your letter A, Uncle Tom's Cabin. So as we have discussed last Thursday, ang Uncle Tom's Cabin, this is all about what? Slavery in America. So masyadong nakarelate si Jose Rizal dun sa Uncle Tom's Cabin kasi nga dito sa book na to na-depict yung conditions, working conditions ng mga slaves at yung pagmamaltrato sa kanila as slaves. So parang nasabi niya is parang almost like the Filipino people under the tyranny of the Spaniards. Okay? So that's your question number 5. Okay? Let's move on. Question number 6. Known as the savior of Noli Me Tangere. O ito, kakadiscuss lang natin guys. Sino ang savior ng Noli Me Tangere? Ano yung sabi natin? Si Noli ay nauuna kaysa sa El Fili. At ano yung pampaalala natin dito? Viola, may 20 ka na. So sino? Is it letter B, Valentin Ventura? Or is it letter D, Dr. Maximo Viola? Okay, very good. That's your letter D, si Maximo Viola. O, wag kakalimutan to guys ha. At always remember si Dr. Maximo Viola, siya yung, dapat ito yung mga, wini-wish nating mga kaibigan natin guys. Bakit? Kasi si Jose Rizal nito, nung siya ay mag-print na ng Noli Me Tangere, wala siyang pera. Actually, wala, as in zero talaga. Wala siyang pambili ng pagkain. Yan, kasi na-delay yung kanyang allowance. Kasi di ba nagkaroon ng parang pests doon sa kanilang field. So, hindi anong tawag dito? Makapag-harvest ng maayos. So, nadidelay yung allowance niya. So, nagpapanik na si Pasiano anong gagawin niya kung paano niya mapapadalhan yung kapatid niya. So, ngayon, walang pagkain si Jose Rizal. Tapos nagkakasakit na siya. And then, here comes Dr. Maximo Viola. And Dr. Maximo Viola is a person from a very rich family from San Miguel, Bulacan. Tapos nakita niya si Jose Rizal na living in poverty and very sickly kasi nga wala siyang proper nourishment kasi halos hindi na kumain si Jose Rizal. So anong ginawa niya? Pinautang niya si Jose Rizal for the printing. Kaya siya tinawag na savior kasi pinautang niya for the printing of your Noli Me Tangere. At hindi lang yan. Siya ay nag-loan ng cash money as allowance or living expenses ni Jose Rizal. Yan. So, katulad ko nung college, guys, wala akong pang tuition, wala din akong pang allowance noon. Yung mga friends ko nung college yung nag-save sa akin. Okay? Sila yung lagi nanlilibre sa akin ng lunch. Kaya yun yung mga hanapin natin, mga kaibigan. Yung magpapapi dog ice ka lang. Wala kasi yung pambili ng lunch eh. Tapos yun, libre ka na namin dyan. Yan. Yun yung mga dapat nating mga kaibigan. So, sana all lahat may Dr. Maximo Viola. Okay, so let's move on. Next, number 7. Okay, number 7. The line Fair Hope of My Fatherland is one of Rizal's poem was referring to the Filipino black. Is it letter A, youth? Is it letter B, athlete? Is it letter C, hero? Or is it letter D, leader? Anong sagot niyo dito, guys? For number 7, Fair Hope of the Fatherland? Very good. This is your what? This is your letter A. That's your youth. Okay. Paulit-ulit para hindi natin makalimutan saan galing tong line na to. Anong poem galing tong line na to? Bakit kapag identification ng question ko, wala nang pumapansin sa akin? Well, as in, very silent the chat box. Bakit kayo ganyan? Hindi nyo ako pinapansin kapag identification ng tanong. Pero kapag multiple choice, marami. Very good. That's your la Juventud Filipina. So wag niyo kakalimutan to, guys, ha. This is a line which is lifted from A la Juventud Filipina, which in Tagalog is your to the Filipino youth. Okay? So wag kakalimutan, ha. My fatherland, Filipina. A la Juventud Filipina. Okay, let's move on. Question number 8. So for question number 8, medyo mahaba siya. Okay, so Rizal was warned by Pasiano, by Silvestre Ubaldo, by Chengoy, and other friends not to return home to the Philippines because of the publication of Noli Me Tangere. But he did not heed their warning because of the following reasons. 1, to operate on his mother's eye. 2, to serve his people. 3, to find out for himself how the Noli and his other writings were affecting the Filipinos and the Spaniards here in the Philippines. And then 4, to inquire why Leonor Rivera remained silent. Is it letter A, 1, 2, and 3? Is it letter B, 1, 3, and 4? Is it letter C, 2, 3, and 4? Or is it letter D, 1, 2, 3, and 4? Guess what? Bakit? Di ba first time pumunta ni Jose Rizal sa ibang bansa para tapusin yung kanyang medicine sa Spain, sa Madrid. And then after noon, 'di ba, pumunta pa siya sa iba-ibang lugar sa sa Paris, sa Germany. Yeah. So pumunta pa siya sa mga iba-ibang lugar. And then of course, being patriotic, namimiss niya ang Philippines. So gusto niyang umuwi. So ang tanong, bakit niya gustong umuwi kahit na sinasabi niya sa kanya, huwag kang uuwi dito kasi nagkakagulo dahil sa Noli Me Tangere. Kasi nagagalit yung mga friars noon dahil sa Noli. Okay? So why? Anong sagot niyo dito? Okay? Very good. It's actually letter D. It's letter D. Okay? So 5 years pumunta si Rizal sa Europe. So 5 years siyang nasa, o di ba sana all, 5 years nasa ibang bansa si Jose Rizal. Pero si Jose Rizal noon, hindi siya naglakwat siya. No, he studied medicine, he finished medicine, he actually finished his philosophy of letters also. And then, pumunta siya sa ibang-ibang lugar para mag-specialize in ophthalmology. Okay? And of course, pinublish din niya yung Noli Me Tangere. Okay? And then after 5 years of that, he wants to return back to the Philippines. Okay? And sinasabi sa kanya na wag kasi nga ang daming nagagalit sa Noli Me Tangere, particularly yung Spanish friars. Okay? But he wants to go home. Bakit? Kasi nga yung mama niya almost blind na. His mom is almost blind and he wants to operate on his mother's eye. Di ba? Kaya nga siya nag-ophthalmologist para matreat niya yung mama niya. And he wants to serve the Filipino people as a doctor, as everything na pinag-aralan niya. Kasi nga, sobra tayong namamaltrato noon. Okay? And he wants to find out kung totoo talaga yung mga balita na nakakarating sa kanya about the Noli and its effects. And of course, lahat naman tayo, meron tayong weakness at ang sa kanya ay si Leonor Rivera. Bakit hindi sinasagot ni Leonor ang kanyang mga letters? Okay? So yan yung 4 na reasons kung bakit niya gustong umuwi sa Pilipinas. Okay? So yan, yes, lahat to. Huwag niyong kakalimutan, guys, ha? sa nanay niya sa Pilipinas. Gusto niyang malaman kung anong nangyayari sa El Fili at ang kanyang lab-lab na si Leonor Rivera. Okay, so that's your question number 8. Okay, next, number 9. Okay, 9. The characters in Rizal's novels symbolize the varied reactions toward the colonizers from Black. Is it letter A, United States? Is it letter B, China? Is it letter C, Spain? Or is it letter D, Japan? Eto guys, pag lumabas to sa boards natin, this is a bonus question ha. Okay? Pero alam nyo, napansin ko sa board exam, kung ano pa yung pinakamadali, yung pa yung minsan tayo ay medyo sumisemplang. Kasi nag-overthink tayo. So, dapat guys, sa board exam, when you start to overthink, kausapin niyo yung sarili niyo. Ganun kasi ako. Jenna, wait lang. Wag masyadong mag-overthink sa question na to. So, lagi niyo tatandaan, Rizal was born during the time when our colonizers was from Spain. Very good. That's your letter C, Spain. Okay? Yan. Now, sabi dito, the characters of Jose Rizal's novels, they are, di ba ang sabi nila is, it's actually a true story. So yung ating Noli Me Tangere and its El Fili, they're actually true stories of the Philippine conditions, especially during the last decade of your Spanish rule. So talaga, based on true-to-life events. Okay? And yung mga characters sa Noli at sa El Fili, they were actually based from persons who existed during Rizal's time. So, sino yung mga pinaka-importanting mga characters na kailangan nating tandaan at kanino sila naka-base? So, let's start with Maria Clara. Okay. Kanino naka-base si Maria Clara? Of course, sa kanyang, di ba, sa kanyang fiancé na si Leonor Rivera. Very good, si Leonor Rivera. Okay, next. Sino naman, kanino naka-base si Crisostomo Ibarra at si Elias? Kanino naka-base? Siyempre, dun sa kay Jose Rizal. Kasi sila yung bida, di ba? Si Crisostomo Ibarra. So, siyempre, kung ako din, gagawa ako ng novel, yung bida, ibibase ko sa sarili ko. Okay, next. Sino naman si Piloso Potasio? Oh, this is also, lagyan nyo to ng asterisk guys. This is one of the common board exam na lumalabas ngayon. Kanino naka-base in real life si Pilosopo Tasio? Very good. Na-discuss natin to noong Tuesday. Kay Pasiano Rizal. Sa kuya niya na si Pasiano Rizal or Mercado. Okay. Now, paano naman si Padre Salvi? Oh, kanino naka-base si Padre Salvi? Siyempre naka-base din siya sa isang padre. At sino tong padre na to? That's your Padre Antonio. That's your Padre Antonio Pierre Navioja. Okay? So, Padre Antonio Pierre Navioja. So, sino tong padre na to? He is actually an Augustinian friar in Cavite na sobrang hate na hate ng mga tao. At dahil sobrang hate na hate siya, pinatay siya nung revolution. Okay? So, yan di ba si Padre Salvi din, hate na hate din natin. Aside from Padre Damas, of course. Okay, next, Kapitan Tiago. Si Kapitan Tiago naman, this was a character based from Kapitan Hilario Sunico. Kapitan Hilario Sunico. Kasi di ba si Kapitan Tiago, isa siya sa mga wealthy na businessman? Yan. Pero ano yung character ni Kapitan Tiago? Di ba ano siya? Hindi din masyadong hindi sa masyado. Hindi maganda yung ugali niya kasi ano siya, prone siya sa pagmamaltrato, saka sa pag-take advantage ng mga taong kino-consider na mas mababa sa kanya. Kino-consider niyang mas mababa sa kanya. So, ito yung mga taong nagti-take advantage. Si Kapitan Tiago. Okay. Now, what about Basilio and Crispin? Basilio and Crispin, if you can remember, di ba mga sakristan sila sa church? Kanino binis ni Jose Rizal to? Binis na to sa true to life na si Crisostomo Brothers. Crisostomo Brothers from Hagonoy. Okay? So, sino ba yung Crisostomo brothers? Parang may church sa Hagonoy na nakita nila na yung parang bell, tsaka yung stairs na may blood. Tapos, ang sabi nila, that blood belongs to the Crisostomo brothers na finlagellate tas minaltrato ng isang friar hanggang mamatay sila. Yeah. So, doon, binase ni Jose Rizal, si Basilio and Crispin. And lastly, si Padre Damaso. Sino naman si Padre Damaso? Si Padre Damaso, guys, wala siyang single person na binase ni Jose Rizal, pero this is based on all the typical friars na nasa Philippines nung time na to. Okay? At ano yung mga typical friars na nandito sa Philippines nung time ng Spanish colonization? They are arrogant. What else? They are immoral. And they are anti-Filipino. Ayan. Okay? So, yan yung mga some of the characters na nakabase talaga sa real life people. Okay? So, wag kakalimutan to. Okay, so yan yung ating, actually ang sabi nila is panoorin daw yung, kung gusto daw natin ng ma-enjoy yung Noli Me Tangere, panoorin yung sa, ano na yun? Sa Channel 7. Oo nga, may nasasaktan sa panot. Grabe naman kayo sa panot. Okay? So, ano na yun? Yung sa Channel 7, yung sumikat din siya. And some international na mga, yung mga, kahit sa ibang bansa, parang natuwa din sila dun sa pag-portray. Yung sa Channel 7, ano na yun, guys? Grabe naman kayo, hindi nyo man lang ako tulungan. Ano na yun, yung teleserye, Channel 7, kung saan nagsimula si Barbie Fortes at saka yung kanyang yun. Maria Clara and Ibarra. Yun. Hindi ko pa kasi siya. Yun, yung kay Binibining, yun, na-delay lang yata. Oh, yun. So, yun daw, pero wag niyo na munang panoorin, mag-review muna tayo. Actually, guys, ako hindi ko pa siya pinapanood. Yung Maria Clara at Ibarra, ayoko kasi alam ko na yung ending, tapos ayoko yung ending. Na-stress ako. Okay, so, pero, ayun. Ay, so yung Maria Clara and Ibarra, hanggang El Fili din? Ay, oo, kasi yung ending niya. Okay. Oh, parang maganda nga, no? Sige nga, simulan natin. After nating pumasa sa board exam. Okay? Wag ngayon, guys. Okay, so let's move on. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 10. The night before his execution, Rizal's genius was manifested in his poem, Mi Ultimo Adios, which is classified as a blank. Is it letter A, haiku? Is it letter B, elegy? Is it letter C, epic? Or is it letter D, sonnet? Oh, alam dapat nyo na to agad, ha? Excuse me? Kasi paulit-ulit natin itong dinidiscuss, guys. Very good. That's your elegy. Okay? So wag kakalimutan, ha? So this is one of the most important literary works in the Philippines, and this is regarded as a farewell poem. Okay? And usually ang mga farewell poems natin, para siyang elegy. They now express sorrow and lament. Okay? And Mi Ultimo Adios was Rizal's farewell to his homeland, to the Philippines. Kasi nga, sinulat niya to before his execution. Okay? So, let's move on. Next, number 11. Oh, I think may mali ako. Number 11. Ba't hindi lumabas? Okay, number 11. The famous character in Rizal's novel. Pwedeng, wait lang guys, saglit lang. Sige, mamaya na lang. Okay, number 11. The famous character in Rizal's novel who became the symbol of the abused Filipino mother was blank. Letter A, Tia Isabel. Letter B, Sisa. Letter C, Maria Clara. Letter D, Perlita. What's your answer for this one, guys? The famous character in Rizal's novel abused Filipino mother. Yan. 'Di ba nung high school pinagtatawanan pa natin yung mga kaklase nating nag-portray sa kanya kasi sobrang galing ng mga kaklase. Ewan ko kung ganun yung ginawa nyo, but our teacher during high school, for us to have a more parang lively discussion, kasi syempre alam nyo naman pag high school ka, 'di ba, medyo may ADHD tayo doon, meron tayong mga attention deficit, tapos sobra tayong hindi tayo mapakali, and kapag history, ayaw natin automatic yan. So for us to have parang to make the classroom a bit livelier, ang ginagawa nila, di ba pinapaano nila to? Dramatization? Yan. So, ito yung, di ba, lagi nilang sinasabi na nakakatawa. Bakit? Kasi yung mga kaklase natin, best actress dito. Ito yung pinakamadali kaya na character na i-portray. Di ba? Kasi dalawang words lang yung sasabihin mo. Bakit? Ano ang dalawang words na sasabihin mo dito? Yung dalawang pangalan ng kanyang anak. So therefore, sino ang sagot natin dito? That's your letter B, Sisa. Okay? So actually guys, 'di ba kapag dinadramatize natin 'to, nakakatawa siya kasi 'di ba yung mga kaklase natin, they will wear like a white gown, tapos may mga uling-uling tayong ilalagay sa kanya. Tapos guguluhin nyo yung buhok ng kaklase natin, di ba? And then, dalawang words lang yung sasabihin niya all throughout the drama. And ano yan? Basilio and Crispin. Okay? Basilio! Yan, di ba? Ganon. Ayan, mga best actress tayo. Crispin! Ganyan tayo. So ngayon, ang tanong dito is, nakakatawa siya nung dinadramatize natin. But if we really want to understand kung ano yung kwento niya, it's actually a very tragic story, di ba? Di ba? Si Sisa or si Narcisa, she was the mother of Crispin and Basilio. And she represents the suffering and exploitation endured by many Filipino mothers under the Spanish rule. Kasi di ba madaming mga bata or actually hindi lang bata, madaming mga anak ang biglang nawawala, namamatay, pinaparusahan during the Spanish rule. At ang pinaka nakaka-stress sa kwento ni Sisa was what? She was a rich girl. She comes from a rich family. And then, bakit siya naging poor? Kasi pinili niya ang love nung nagpakasal siya. Tapos, nung nagpakasal siya, yung love niya, gambler. So, pumili siya ng asawa na gambler. Tsaka, yung parang wala siyang, ang sabi kasi nila wastrel. Okay? So, ano ba ang wastrel? Yung mga walang plano sa buhay. And ano pa? Anong nangyayari dito? 'Di ba si Sisa, pinili na nga niya yung asawa niya, tapos ano pa? Ano siya, ina-abuse siya, tsaka yung mga anak niya. So Sisa and Basilio and Crispin were constantly abused by the father. And what else? Yung pagkain na dapat para sa mga anak ni Sisa, kinakain ng asawa niya. Okay? Kaya, yun yung isa sa mga nakakainis doon. So ngayon, ano yung pinaka-importante dito? Always remember guys, before, especially noong mga olden times, during the time of Rizal, pag kayo ay may mental illness, katulad ni Sisa, parang ikaw ay ino-ostracize sa society. Di ba hanggang ngayon, ganun pa rin naman tayo, di ba, pag sinasabi natin na meron siyang mental illness. Tapos anong sinasabi ng mga tao sa paligid natin? Kaya mo yan, isipin mo lang, good thoughts, gaganon tayo. But no, when we say mental illness, guys, mental illness, you have to treat mental illnesses like diseases na katulad ng hypertension, ng diabetes. They are actually diseases. Kaya hindi siya pwedeng sabihin na matitreat lang yan with happy thoughts. Okay? So, hindi ganon, guys. Okay. So, ngayon, ano yung pinakamaganda dito? Even before si Rizal, because he was, of course, a doctor, magandang portrayal ng mental illness si Sisa. And ano yan? Yung mental illness na yan, napakita na Rizal na it can be connected to what? To traumatic events. It can be linked through traumatic events and of course, systemic oppression. Pag paulit-ulit din naman kasi guys, di ba? Paulit-ulit tayong na-oppress, na-mamaltrato, that can lead to what? To mental illness. So aside from ina-abuse siya ng asawa niya, ano pa? Nawala pa, namatay pa yung mga anak niya. So naniwala siyang namatay si Basilio at si Crispin. And inarrest pa siya, tsaka inabuse pa siya ng Guardia Civil. Okay? So, dahil sa sobrang paulit, imagine nyo, ano kayo, princess kayo ng parents nyo, tapos biglang magiging mahirap ka to the point na halos wala ka nang makain. Tapos binubugbog ka pa, ina-abuse ka pa, tapos namatay pa yung mga anak mo, inaresto ka pa, inabuse ka pa ng Guardia Civil. Sino naman ang hindi mababaliw dyan? So, she lost her sanity and then she started wandering around San Diego and kumakanta siya. And kino-call out niya yung mga pangalan ng anak niya. Kaya nga, di ba ang sabi natin, dalawa lang ang words na lagi niyang sinasabi. Basilio at Crispin. Okay? And of course, always remember, Sisa, hindi lang siya sufferings ng literal na nanay. Pwede din natin siyang i-ano. This is, Sisa, personified the sufferings of your motherland. So hindi lang siya literal sa mga nanay ng mga Filipina, pero pwede din natin siyang gawin na another interpretation is Sisa is our motherland, the Philippines, na laging nagdurusa dahil sa Spaniards. Okay? So yan ang ating question number 11. Okay? Let's move on to question number 12. Rizal studied medicine because he wanted to treat his mother's failing blank. Is it letter A, memory? Is it letter B, hearing? Is it letter C, mobility? Or is it letter D, eyesight? Akala ko may paulit-ulit ka, ma'am. Stop ka na. Yung pala, ano? Sorry. Hindi ko kasi masyado napapansin yung mga comments nyo. Okay, so for question number 12, guys, why did Rizal, paulit-ulit natin to, so why did Rizal, huwag kayong magsasawa ha, lagi nyo tatandaan kung anong paulit-ulit, yun yung lalabas. Sana. Okay, so ano ang nag-fail sa nanay ni Rizal? Very good. That's your eyesight. That's why si Rizal, he studied medicine, ophthalmology. Specifically, ang kinuha niya is ophthalmology kasi he wants to cure his mother's failing eyesight due to what? Bakit nag-fail yung eyesight ng nanay niya? Due to cataracts. Very good. That's your cataracts. Okay? So ngayon guys, ang lagi niyong tatandaan, si Rizal, yung nanay ni Rizal, especially when around 60, 65, halos wala nang makita yung mama niya. She was almost blind. So what did Rizal do? He started operating on his mother. Pero nung umuwi siya, yung first time na umuwi siya sa Pilipinas, hindi niya ma-operate kasi hindi pa daw ripe yung cataracts ng mama niya. So, tinreat lang niya yung mama niya. But, when did he start operating on his mother? So, nasa Hong Kong siya. Tapos, pumunta sa Hong Kong yung buong family ni Rizal. And he operated on his mother's left eye. Okay? So, left eye muna yung inoperate ni Rizal. And then, almost blind yung mama niya. But after the operation, his mom was able to read and write again. And then, habang nasa exile siya in Dapitan, he operated on the right eye of his mom. Okay? Pero dito, ang lagi nilang sinasabi is, successful yung right pala. Dito pala yung right. Yung successful yung operation sa right eye niya, pero yung mama niya hindi nakinig sa kanya, so tinanggal agad yung bandages. So nagkaroon siya ng infection. Pero dahil magaling si Rizal, na-treat niya yung infection and na-restore niya yung eyesight ng mama niya. Fully restored eyesight. O, di ba? Ang galing. So that's your eyesight. Okay? So wag kakalimutan, bakit nag-medicine si Rizal? To restore the eyesight of his mother. Okay, next, number 13. All of the following are discovered by Rizal and were named in his honor, except for blank. Is it 1, Draco Rizali? Is it 2, Apogonia Rizali? Is it 3, Rhacophorus Rizali? Is it A, 1 and 2? Is it B, 2 and 3? Is it C, 1, 2, and 3? Or is it letter D, none of the above? Ano ang sagot ng mga karamihan? Very good. Always remember guys, please be very careful with this type of question. Bakit? Kasi except. So ako guys, ang ginagawa ko for the board exam, every time I see the words except, yan, lagi ko siyang ini-encircle para hindi ako malito. So ano ibig sabihin ng question natin? All of the following are discovered by Rizal except. So sino dyan yung hindi na-discover ni Rizal? Did he discover statement 1? Yes. Diniscover niya si Draco Rizali and it was named after him. Okay. What about Apogonia Rizali? Yes, this was also discovered by Rizal and with also your Rhacophorus Rizali. So the correct answer is none of the above kasi lahat na discover niya. Very good. Okay? So, always remember guys, just in case na, yes, wag niyong kakalimutan ha, be very careful when answering questions. Kasi kahit kahit, yun yung napansin ko guys, kahit nakapag-review ka ng mabuti, pero hindi mo na intindihan masyado yung question, pwede doon tayo magkamali. So that's why dapat by March, mag-answer na kayo ng maraming questions para ma-practice nyo. Iba pa rin yung alam ninyo, tapos iba pa rin yung nag-answer tayo ng questions. Yes. Uy, thank you naman sa mga shorts ni Ma'am Jenna. Anong kulay ng shorts ko, Char? Okay, so let's start with the first one. So si Draco Rizali, guys, this is your Draco Rizali. This is a type of flying dragon. Okay, so that's a type of flying dragon. And then for Apogonia Rizali, yan, si Apogonia Rizali, this is a beetle. Okay, and we have the last one. That's your Rhacophorus rizali. This is a frog. This is a very rare frog. Okay, so yan yung mga ano dito? Na discover ni Rizal. Tapos pinangalan after sa kanya. Okay, so when did he start collecting all of these specimens while he was on exile in Dapitan? Okay? So sobra siyang natuwa sa Mindanao kasi sobrang daming species ng mga organisms, ng mga plants and animals siyang nakita and he started collecting specimens. Okay? So yan ang ating mga different species na pinangalan kay Rizal. Okay? So let's move on to the next one. Okay, number 14. Rizal dedicated El Filibusterismo to letter A, his mother, B, Philippines, C, Gomburza, D, Pasiano. Parang naulit yung question. Ano? Parang natanong ko na to. O sa kakaulit-ulit natin. Diyos ko naman kung hindi to lumabas, ha? Okay? Akala ko may nag-send sa amin ng TikTok universe. Yung pala sa iba. Mas sasaya na sana ako. Ano ba ang kailangan kong gawin, guys, para mag-send kayo ng mga ganun? May nakita kasi ako na ayun no, send TikTok universe. Sasabihin ko pa naman sana yung pala hindi sa amin. Okay, so kanino na niya dinedicate to, guys? Very good. Sa Gomburza Fathers. Okay, so that's your sasayaw. Ano sasayawin ko? Ice cream yummy. Charot lang. Okay, so okay, so sabi ko nga sa kanila malapit na. Malapit na ako sumayaw nun para lang magkapera. Okay. Okay, so ano ang kailangan nating alalahanin sa Gumburza Fathers, guys? So always remember ang ating Gumburza, 'di ba ito yung tinanong sa isang, hindi ko alam, sa isang anong tawag dito, sa isang game show ba tapos hindi nila nasagot. So wag nating kakalimutan, guys, na ang Gumburza, these are the 3 fathers and they were executed kasi they were falsely accused of being anti-Spaniards or anti-Spain. Okay. Now, sino tong mga tatlong to? Diba that's your what? Mariano Gomez, that's your Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora. Okay? So, isulat na nga lang natin. That's your Mariano Gomez. That's your Jose Burgos. Actually, hindi ko alam. Kasi hindi ako masyado nagso-social media nun. Naririnig ko lang. And then, Jacinto Zamora. Hindi ko ngay alam. Hindi ko alam, sorry guys. Yan yung mga panahon kasi na ano eh, hindi ako nagde-net, hindi, nagde-Netflix ako. Hindi ako nagki-K-drama, hindi ako nag-Facebook, hindi ako nag-memes. Alam niyo ba dati ang pronunciation ko pa sa memes, meme, kinahiya ako ng kapatid ko. Ayan. So, yung kapatid ko pa naman matalino. Tapos kasama niya yung mga kaibigan niyang matatalino. Tapos ang sinabi ko, Dax, nakita mo ba yung meme na bago? Tapos lahat sila tinignan ako. Tapos sabi nila, anong meme? Tapos sabay kurot sa akin. Ayun. So, sorry na. Naging mukha tuloy yung bobo sa harapan ng mga friends niyang matatalino. Okay, so, meme. Tapos kinurot niya talaga ako. Sabi niya, ano meme? Ayun. So after hindi na lang ako nagsalita kasi alam niyo naman, baka mama-judge pa ako. Teacher na ako noon ha, ng pharmacy, tas meme ang pronunciation ko. Okay, so going back, you have Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora. And they were all executed using the garrote. Ayan. Yung meron dito, tapos igaganon, papahigpitan ng pagpapahigpitan. Okay? So, yeah. So, guys, always remember, why were they executed? Kasi they were now on false accusations. Sila daw yung isa sa mga reasons kung bakit nagkaroon ng Cavite Mutiny. Okay? Kaya that's why they were now executed. Okay. And I read there was this one board exam previous pero sobrang tagal na. They were asking a previous board exam question. Ano yung order of execution ng ating Gumburza? Okay? So, sino yung unang na-execute? That is Father Gomez. So the first one to be executed, I see Father Gomez. Followed by what? Father Zamora. And then the last is si Father Burgos. Okay? So, nung nakita na ni Father Burgos na namamatay na yung mga kasama niya, yung dalawa niyang kasama, sinasabi niya na, anong ginawa ko? Ako ay walang ginawa. Ako ay, anong tawag dito? I am innocent. Pero ayun, parang wala na siyang magagawa kasi talagang nakaplano na yung execution nila. So, inaccept na lang. Lahat ng major ship mahirap, guys. Huwag kayong mag-alala. Lahat ng major ship. Alam niyo, when I was taking the let, tumatawa nga ako minsan kasi hindi ko alam yung sagot. Pero yung tawa ko yung ano lang, yun nandito lang ako sumatawa. Kasi alam mo, mag-iiyak ako, di ba? So, alam mo yun, since I'm a happy-go-lucky person, yun ang sabi ko na, oh my God, hindi ko alam yung sagot. Tapos tatawa ako. Okay? So, ayun. Kaya yun yung yun, yung feeling ko nawiwirdohan sa akin yung mga kasama ko sa room. Kasi ako lang mag-isa ang nag-exam. Wala akong friends na nag-exam. So, mag-isa akong nagdurusa. Tapos ang sinasabi ko sa kapatid ko, bakit kasi ako nag-let yan. Okay? Pero okay lang yun guys kasi masaya kapag pumasa. Okay? So, wag kakalimutan guys, ang ating Gomburza, they were now the 3 Filipino Catholic priests and they were executed via the garrote. And meron pang isang board exam question. When were they executed? This was February 17, 1872. February 17, 1872. Okay? So, that's your Gomburza. Wag kakalimutan. Okay, next one. Number 15.
Ooh, what does this button do?
Number 15. What was the title of Rizal's work considered to be his crowning glory as a young poet? Is it letter A, A las Flores del Heidelberg? Letter B, Mi Ultimo Adios? Is it letter C, A mi Madre? Or is it letter D, A la Juventud Filipina? Oh, so ang isipin nyo dito guys is young poet. So sa lahat ng mga sinulat ni Jose Rizal, ano yung pinaka nagbigay sa kanya ng glory kasi nanalo siya at a young age. So dyan sa lahat ng choices, ano ba yung sinulat niya nung bata pa lang siya? Very good. That's your A la Juventud Filipina. So he actually wrote this and he submitted this at the age of 18 sa isang contest. And what was that contest? That's your artistic That's your artistic, literary, lyceum. And when did he join this contest? It was the year 1879. Okay? At eto guys, sobrang big deal tong pag-submit niya at pagkapanalo niya. He actually won first prize. So he won first prize. Bakit? Bakit sobrang big deal to guys? Kasi ito yung unang poem na sinulat in Spanish by a Filipino and na-recognize ng Spanish literary authorities as maganda. Flawless. Yun yung sinabi nila. Okay? And this one, si A la Juventud Filipina, this was one of the first times na in-express ni Rizal yung nationalistic concept. Okay? So, dito niya sinabi na ang mga Filipino ang hope ng fatherland, hindi mga foreigners. So, kung gusto nating umasenso, kailangan natin i-base sa sarili natin. Kailangan natin umasa sa mga sarili natin, hindi sa mga taga-ibang bansa. Okay? So, that's your question number 15. Okay? Next, number 16. Number 16. Rizal focused on La Liga Filipina to blank. 1. Unite the whole family. 2. Fight violence and injustice. 3. Revolt against the Spaniards. Is it A, 1 and 2? Is it B, 2 and 3? Is it C? Is it C, 1 and 3? Is it D, 2 only? Okay. Habang nag-iisip kayo, sasagutin ko yung mga iba. Hindi ka na nagpa-practice ng pharma, ma'am. What do you mean by practice? Hindi na ako naging pharmacist? Sa hospital, sa community? Hindi na, pero nagtuturo pa rin ako. So, nagpa-practice pa rin ako kasi nagtuturo pa rin ako. Okay, so what's your answer for question number 16, guys? So, bakit nag-focus si Rizal sa La Liga Filipina? Or ano ang focus ng La Liga Filipina? So, please be careful for this question, guys, kasi I saw some of the answers na iba sa answer ko. Okay, so please be very careful with this one. So, what's the correct answer? It's 1 and 2. Very good. It's letter A, 1 and 2. Okay, so bakit saan natin binase yung sagot natin dito? Kasi baka mamaya sabihin nyo na, bakit ma'am sa iba ito yung sagot? Bakit yung nabasa ko ganito yung sagot? Lagi nyo tatandaan guys, si Rizal, ang ano niya is ayaw niya nga magkaroon ng revolution eh. Kasi, number 1, sabi niya, hindi tayo prepared. Kasi kailangan pa nating mangalap ng pera, kailangan pa nating mangalap ng armas. Yun yung gusto niya. Kaya sinasabi niya kay Bonifacio na wag mag-revolution. Kasi nga, number 1, hindi tayo prepared. Number 2, kailangan natin ng pera, tsaka kailangan natin ng mga armas para makapag-fight off sa Spaniards. Okay? So therefore, si Rizal, more of ano siya, dun siya sa peaceful revolution. Ayaw niya no bloodshed. So, one of his ways was to start La Liga Filipina. And si La Liga Filipina, he started this on July 3, 1892 in Tondo, Manila. So, he founded and inaugurated La Liga Filipina in 1892 in Tondo. So, ano yung mga focus ng La Liga Filipina? It's number 1, to unite the whole country. So, he wants to unite the whole archipelago into one compact and homogeneous body. So, that's why statement 1 is correct. Next, number 2. So, wala si number 2 dito. So, isulat na lang natin. So, gusto niya ng mutual protection. So, he wants to have mutual protection in every want and necessity. Okay? Next, number 3. So, for number 3, it's dito kasi fight violence and injustice. So, ang totoo sa La Liga Filipina, he wants, hindi fight yung ginamit niya, it's defense. Defense on, or defense against, rather. It's defense against all violence and injustice. Ayan. So, yun yung number 3. And then number 4, yung diniscuss natin kanina, education. So, he wants to concentrate on education in agriculture and commerce. Yan. And lastly, number 5, reforms. Yan. So yan yung mga gusto, yun yung mga objectives ng La Liga Filipina. So number 1, he wants to unite all the archipelago. He wants to unite the whole archipelago as one compact country. Number 2, he wants mutual protection for all wants and needs and necessity. And then number 3, it's defense against violence and injustice. Number 4, that's education, agriculture, and commerce. And then number 5, reforms. Okay? So, lagi niyong tatandaan, si Rizal, ang gusto niya is peaceful revolution. Okay? So, gusto niya peaceful lang. Gusto niya ng reforms. Okay? So, that's why the correct answer for this one is 1 and 2. Okay? So, that's for question number 16. Okay. Now, guys, just a brief intermission. Wala kasi siya dito sa wait. Sige, mamaya na lang. Okay, later na lang pag malapit na tayong matapos, doon ko na lang sasabihin. Okay, next number 17. Okay. Rizal's first sorrow in life was brought about by the death of letter A, Concha, letter B, Saturnina, letter C, Narcisa, letter D, Francisco. Okay? So, sino yung namatay? Kaya naging sobrang broken-hearted ni Rizal. Very good. Number 17, that's letter A, si Concha. So, sino si Concha, guys? Sino si Concha? Very good. Concha, guys, is Concepcion. Concepcion was the younger sister of Rizal. So, she was the younger sister of Rizal. And si Concha, namatay siya at 3 years old because of sickness. Siya yung parang pinaka-close ni Rizal, siya yung laging kalaro ni Rizal, tsaka sa lahat ng kapatid ni Rizal, siya yung pinakamahal ni Rizal kasi sila yung pinakahalos magka-age. Ayan. Tapos namatay because of sickness, kaya na-heartbroken si Rizal. And this was considered as the first sorrow of Rizal. Okay? So the death of his sister, Concha, or wag kakalimutan, Concha is the nickname of Concepcion. Okay? So wag kakalimutan. Okay, so that's number 17. Okay, next number 18. Number 18 naman, guys. The Governor General who signed the fatal document ordering the execution of Dr. Jose Rizal. The Governor General who signed the fatal document ordering the execution of Dr. Jose Rizal. Is it letter A, Ramon Blanco? Is it letter B, Camilo de Pola Vieja? Is it letter C, Emilio Terrero? Or is it letter D, Ferdinand Blumentritt? Sino ang hate ng buong Pilipinas? Kasi dahil sa kanya, in-execute si Dr. Jose Rizal. Anong sagot natin, guys? Okay, so very good, guys. The correct answer is actually, ano yun? Yung minsan kung kapag kunyari, katulad namin no undergrad kami, pinapangalan namin sa mga klase namin yun para hindi namin makalimutan. Like nung nag-microbiology kami, pinangalan namin sa mga klase namin para kunyari, dinidictate ng teacher yung sagot, tapos naalala mo yung kaklase mo yung sagot, tingnan mo siya, tapos lahat na ng kaklase mo, malalaman na siya yung sagot. So kung ano yung pinassign nyo sa kanya, siya yung sagot, di ba? Ayan. So, parang ganun, para hindi natin makalimutan. So, for Governor General who signed the execution of Dr. Jose Rizal, sino to? Very good, that's your letter B, si Camilo de Polavieja. Okay? So, wag niyong kakalimutan to ha, si Vieja, Polavieja, siya ang pumatay kay Rizal. Ala, sino yung naka-on ng mic? Lee, pwede pong pa... Thank you. Okay. Okay. So, dito guys, ayan, may mga nag-share ng pampaalala nila. Sa akin kasi, Polavieja, iniisip ko na lang na mura siya, yung Polavieja, para, yun, para sa pumatay kay Rizal. Okay? Ayoko kasing sabihin yung mura eh. Ayan, ito na lang ilalagay ko. Ayan, dyan na lang. Para siya yung... sorry, yan yung pampaalala ko. Sinishare ko lang. Hindi ko pinipilit. Okay? So, yan yung pampaalala ko, guys. Wag nyo na lang, ano ha? Ayun, yun. Yun na lang yung pampaalala natin. Ayan. Siya. Ayan, sabihin nyo to. Tapos, siya yung pumatay kay Rizal. Okay? Para hindi natin makalimutan. Para hindi ko makalimutan. Okay. So, always remember, guys, na si Polavieja, he now approved the execution of Rizal noong December 28. So, he approved the execution of Rizal on December 28 and he ordered Rizal to be shot in Bagumbayan Field on December 30 at 7 a.m. Okay? So, yan yung ating pampaalala. Yan yung document na nag-order kay execution of Dr. Jose Rizal. Now, yung mga ibang choices, guys, very important din yan, so wag kakalimutan. So, sino naman si Ramon Blanco? Si Ramon Blanco, guys, isa yan din sa mga nakakainis sa mga tao sa buhay ni Rizal. Bakit? Kasi si Ramon Blanco, he was the Governor General wherein tinrush siya ni Rizal. Bakit? Kasi siya yung nag-order na umalis si Rizal sa... sorry, wait lang. Yes. Okay. So si Ramon Blanco, Ramon Blanco, he was the one who gave Rizal yung mga letters of gutom na yata ako. Yung mga letters na ibibigay niya sa Spain na sinasabi na parang clearing Rizal na walang kinalaman si Rizal sa revolution. Yun yung ginawa ni Blanco. Okay? Kaya naniwala si Rizal sa kanya. So, Rizal believed that he was a man of honor. But, habang ginagawa pala niya yon, anong ginawa ni Ramon Blanco? Dinoble cross niya si Rizal. So, binigyan niya si Rizal ng letter na sinasabi doon na patunayan na sinasabi niya na walang kinalaman si Rizal sa revolution, kaya tanggapin niyo sila sa Spain. Ganyan. Yung pala, binigay niya yung kay Rizal, pero at the same time, nakikipag-communicate siya sa Spain na si Rizal ay isang dangerous Filipino and responsible sa revolution. So, kumbaga, double-faced siya. So, sa harapan ni Rizal, mabait ako, naniwala ako sa'yo. Alam kong wala kang kinalaman sa revolution. Pero pag nakatalikod pala si Rizal, kausap na niya yung Spain at sinasabi niya na dangerous Filipino si Rizal. And this was actually the reason why kung bakit na-detain si Rizal dun sa ship at kung bakit siya pinabalik sa Pilipinas. Okay? Yan si Ramon Blanco. Okay. Yes. B for Blanco, B for backstabber. Very good. Okay? Very good yan. Okay. Now, what about si Emilio Terrero? Si Emilio Terrero, guys, he was also a governor general, specifically nung 1885 tsaka 1888. And siya yung, he was the governor general during the first homecoming of Rizal. So he was the governor general during the first homecoming of Rizal. So naalala nyo, 'di ba nung unang pagbalik ni Rizal, sinasabi na nga nila pa siya, huwag kang uuwi dito kasi nagkakagulo dahil sa Noli Me Tangere. So, nung pagbalik ni Rizal sa Pilipinas, yung mga Spanish friars, they were clamoring for Rizal to be parang makasuhan at maparusahan dahil sa Noli. Emilio Terrero, guys, he was the governor general. Pinipilit siya ng mga Spaniard na i-persecute si Jose Rizal. But hindi siya nakikinig sa kanila kasi very liberal si Emilio Terrero. So gusto niya, bakit, ano ba nangyayari? Ano bang kaguluhan dyan sa Noli Me Tangere na yan? So actually invited Rizal. So he sent for Rizal in Malacanang. Tapos in-interview niya si Jose Rizal. Ano ba to? Anti-Spaniards ba? Ganyan. So in-explain ni Rizal. Sa sobrang galing ni Rizal na mag-explain, sinabi niya na hindi ako gumagawa ng this is not anti-Spain. It's actually a true story. Binis ko lang to sa totoong nangyayari. So, sabi ni Emilio, bigyan mo nga ako ng kopya at babasahin ko. And nung binasa niya, he found nothing with Noli. Kasi nakita niya na totoo na kinukwento lang ni Rizal kung ano yung nangyayari talaga sa Pilipinas. Pero, even though na naniniwala siya na walang something sa Noli at kay Rizal, alam niya na galit kay Rizal yung mga Spaniards. Kaya inassignan niya ng security si Jose Rizal. Okay, siya yung nag-assign ng Spanish lieutenant kay Rizal as a bodyguard, as security, si Andrade. Ayun. So yan yung role ni Emilio Terrero. Now, what about Ferdinand Blumentritt? Si Ferdinand Blumentritt, guys, he was an Austrian. And bakit siya very important? Austrian. Kasi siya yung best friend ni Rizal. Siya yung naging best friend ni Rizal, si Blumentritt. Okay? So wag kakalimutan, si Blumentritt. Okay? So yan ang question number 18. Okay, next number 19. Oh, last two questions na tayo, guys. Last two questions. Question number 19. Laong laan, and Dimasalang were the pen names used by blank. Is it letter A, Jose Rizal? Is it letter B, Juan Luna? Is it letter C, Andres Bonifacio? Or is it letter D, Emilio Aguinaldo? Very good. Siyempre, ano ba ang pinag-aaralan natin for tonight? It's the life and works of Jose Rizal. It's letter A, Jose Rizal. Okay, so dagdagan lang natin. Madami tayong baon for the board exam. Ano ibig sabihin ng laong-laan? This is ever ready. Laging handa. Dimas, this is untouchable. Okay? So, ever ready si Laong Laan. And si Dimasalang, that's your untouchable. Okay? So, ngayon guys, if you follow my TikTok account, meron akong sinabi dun sa si Jose Rizal, aside from Laong Laan and Dimasalang, he also used May Pag-asa. Because I read in some books na ginamit niya to, yung May Pag-asa. Okay? But, I'm still looking for other sources para mas believable siya. So, for the board natin, Laong-laan and Dimasalang, that's Jose Rizal. May Pag-asa, pag tinanong tayo, that's Andres Bonifacio. Para hindi tayo malito at hindi nyo ako inaaway sa comment section. Anong sinusulat ko? Ano ba eh? Okay, so for Andres Bonifacio, May Pag-asa. And aside from May Pag-asa, Agapito Bagumbayan. Okay? Pag magko-comment naman kayo sa TikTok, guys, make sure na friendly ha kasi pag ako gagawa ng content chart. Okay, so huwag niyo akong inaaway. Okay. Next, Emilio Aguinaldo. What about Emilio Aguinaldo? Emilio Aguinaldo, this is, ang name niya sa Katipunan ay Magdalo. Magdalo. Okay? What about Juan Luna? Ito madali lang kasi Luna, buwan. Okay? And idagdag ko lang guys kasi isa din to sa mga lagi lumalabas sa boards natin, si Emilio Jacinto. What about Emilio ba? Emilio Jacinto. Ano ang kanyang ang laging lumalabas sa exam. This is your mas at ano to? Pinky at. Okay, so that's your number 19. Okay, and we have the last question, guys. Number 20. Oh, last na to na live ko. So, pag nagkita-kita tayo ulit, guys, LPT na kayo. Okay. May. Okay? At kung nagustuhan nyo naman yung ating yung ating mga live, please tell everyone na sali sila sa live natin. Tapos mag-enroll na din sila sa LEAP. Hindi katulad nyo, hindi kayo charot lang. So, sabihin nyo sa kanila na mag-enroll sa LEAP para naman meron kaming mga lecturers. Kasi kapag kunyari, puro tayo free at walang nag-enroll, wala kang bayad sa lecturer, eh di wala nang free. Okay. Paano mag-enroll? Please, please send us a message sa Facebook page. Oo nga pala, for those who will not 2025 board exam, open na pa kami for enrollment for the September 2025. Open na for enrollment. We have 2 programs which are open. The one which will start on Monday, January 20. So sa mga gusto very long review, so that's January hanggang September, meron kayong access sa app. But still, hindi pa kayo nakaka-graduate and you still want to focus on the last sem of, we will have the first batch on April 21. That is for September. And naka-early bird promo po kami. Just a down payment of 1. And naka early bird promo. So I think 3,000 or 2,000 na. Or sorry, half the price. Half the price ng early bird promo. So the early bird promo is open for 100 students only. So pag nag-down kayo ng 1,000, automatic na yun na naka-early bird kayo. And then kapag na-fill na namin yung 100 students ng early bird, babalik na kami sa regular price, which is times 2 ng early bird. Yes, meron tayong program din na practice tests lang, questions, flashcards. Just send a message sa Facebook page. Okay? Ayan. So, yun po yung sa kung gusto mga humabol. And then, of course, we also have yung mga magma-March 2025. Kung gusto nyo pa rin humabol, guys, meron kaming last batch on January 20. Yun lang po. Okay. Let's start and let's finish the last question. In Calamba, Rizal established a medical clinic and was called A. Dr. Uliman, B. Dr. Weckert, C. Dr. Becker, or D. Dr. Schwager. Okay? So yung sa January 20 na magsa-start for March yung access. Meron din kaming program which will also start on January 20 na hanggang access. And installment din siya, guys. Okay? So, ayun. Kasi yung yung sa January 20 for September, mas mura siya as compared na kayo. Yung magiging regular price na. Kasi ibabalik na namin sa dati. Kasi since tapos na yung launching promo and everything, 100 students na lang. And then, irregular price na namin. Okay? So, ano ang sagot natin dito? When Rizal returned to Calamba, he now established a medical clinic and was called blank. That's your letter A, Dr. Uliman. Okay? So, bakit siya tinawag na Dr. Uliman? Kasi he came from Germany. Yan yung nickname na binigay sa kanya kasi galing daw siyang Germany. And this is etong time na to, he just came from Germany he just came from Spain to finish his medicine degree, and then he went to Germany to specialize in ophthalmology. Kaya kumalat sa buong Luzon na ang magaling na doktor sa Calamba. So kaya ang daming pumunta from Manila just to have Rizal treat them. Okay. Now, before we end, kailangan natin i-discuss yung mga other doctors dito. So sino naman si Dr. Weckert? Si Dr. Weckert, guys, he was a French ophthalmologist in Paris. Tapos naging assistant si Rizal niya. nung nasa Paris si Rizal. What about Dr. Becker? Si Dr. Otto Becker. Si Dr. Otto Becker, guys, he was an ophthalmologist in Germany. Tapos, naging assistant din si Rizal. Okay? Si Dr. Schweger naman, guys, German din siya. German ophthalmologist din. In Berlin. Yun. So, yung ating question number 20. Okay? So with that, guys, we're finished with life and works of Rizal.